This morning I'd like to talk about giving and sharing. I found a wonderful little story in the upper room written by a lady in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I'm going to try to pronounce her name. It's not going to be easy. It's Enid Ada Ninen no Munu Juni. That's the best I'm going to try. But she writes, I first met MZ in a hotel. His eyes were sunken, his back was bent, and he was walking with the support of a stick. I was moved with compassion as I watched him order a cup of tea. Later on, I inquired as to who he was and where he lived. A young man took me to MZ's home, and I could not believe what I saw. He was sitting alone in front of his house. The roof and walls had holes large enough for a person to fit through. I learned that his wife and relatives had deserted him, leaving him to struggle to provide for himself in his old age. Around his house, I could see the small gardens he had cultivated. I decided to offer him food each week, even though I did not have much myself. The seed I had been sowing may seem small, but is helping MZ. For this I am glad. And recently I have seen God providing for me in a similar way. When a friend came to stay with me for 2 weeks, she gave me money to buy groceries and helped me to pay for other things as well. Before she left, she asked if she could continue to send me money for groceries. Just as God prompted me to help MZ, I believe that through my friend, God was helping me. Now, if you listen to that story, this is what we would call an impoverished woman. And yet, she is freely helping somebody else. And, you know, in 2 Corinthians, and we've all heard this many times, where it says, each of you must give as you've made up your mind, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. And in Proverbs 19, it says, whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord and will be repaid in full. Now, a challenge like that is kind of rough because we are such a blessed people. We have so much abundance, and yet we find that most of us live just from paycheck to paycheck or pension check to pension check and feel like we're barely scraping by. And in retirement, I've cut back dramatically on what I spend. I've cut back on food. We don't eat out, but yet we still have luxuries. I still have a television set. I have full range of cable channels with the high definition. So, you know, I am not impoverished by any means. I am comfortable. But when I read someone like this, I try to think of, is there some small way that I can still reach out and help others? God bless you and have a wonderful day.